Welcome to the Future series with Queen Billion.
Yeah. How you doing, Bimbo?
Hey, Enoch, how are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Nice to be here.
It is 7 on the dot. How are
Yeah.
you?
Well, I'm
I'm
doing
liking
fine.
your background though. What's going on? Hey.
Well, I mean, we have to represent the parts.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you want to come and show yourself today, eh? How are
Well, not
you?
really, but it's one of the things that I'm going to discuss. One of the things about tech is that there must be this ambience.
Hmm.
Your workspace must be a place where members of your team feel inspired, they can see words that put them in the mood to work. So it's part of it,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. So, hello
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome to another live lesson session with Queen Billion. This is Queen Billion Live, and this is the Future series with Queen Billion. So today we'll be talking about the future of technology in Nigeria. So I have with me today Enoch Olisa. And guess what? I've not seen Enoch in like how many years? Since 2005?
No, I know we saw in 2018, I think, at
2018 and at an ISL
that
event?
event, yes. 2018 and
Uh-huh.
19, or 17, yeah.
Okay, but I think I've known Enoch since like 1999.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
memory serves me correctly. So we went to the same secondary school, but today he's a tech guru. He's doing great things in the tech space. And what better way to, bring the information about technology, somebody that is doing technology in Nigeria, to teach us one or two things, one or two show, give us some clarifications on one or two gray areas and all of that. So Enoch, I'm going to give you the floor shortly, and you're going to tell us about yourself and what inspired you to go into tech and how it all started. You have the floor.
Okay, thanks so much, Bimbo, and it's nice to be here. Hello, everybody. My name is Enoch Olisa, and I'm happy to be here. Okay, well, my tech journey started in, I think, 2011. 2011, I first heard about tech from a neighbor of mine. A bit of my background, I read engineering both at BSc and Masters. But during my NYC in 2011, I had a lot of free time on my hands. So I learned about tech from a neighbor of mine who was into programming there. Yes, I heard about tech and I first started off with web design.
Mm.
Yeah, then when I was doing my NYSC, I worked a bit, let's say 1 or 2 years after that, and that was in the oil and gas. Then a big opportunity came up. That was around the time Jam was to become fully computer based. So
Okay.
it was an opportunity for my co-founder and I to take advantage of that. Then let me just go back some years before that. Ever since my days in the university, I've been doing private lessons. That's when the exam of some students are approaching. Of course, parents will want to get them some private home teachers, so I used to do that. So in a nutshell, I was in the education space and I was already into tech some years later. So when the opportunity for JAM going fully computer based came up, we knew there's going to be a need for students to have apps that have past questions, and that's how my journey began. That was in 2014, I think. That's about 8 years. So in a nutshell, that's been my story, that's been my journey.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So you picked interest in education plus tech at the same time. So that brings
Yes.
me to the next question. Because a lot of people don't know why they are interested in some things and they just trivialize them. You started with being a tutor, and today you
Yeah.
have built a hub for young people preparing for JAMB and all of that. And from the profile that I read about you, you have a Facebook group of over 1.4 million members, for people that are preparing. So you actually have, the next generation, the future of Nigeria at the palm of your hands, and, you can actually disseminate information to them easily. So tell us, how did you come about building that? Because obviously you use technology to build a bridge for education.
Okay, so let me first lay the grounds for that. I'm very passionate about young people. even from my younger days, I've always liked their energy, and I've always liked their openness. As years will come, as years will roll by, one of the things I discovered about them is that they are like, I call them tabula rasas. That means they are empty. They need to be filled with something. They need to be shown the way. So my thinking was that, okay, these guys, being older than them, I've been able to know my right from my left. These guys need to be shown the way so that they make less mistakes. So that they don't be like us and start saying, when I was your age, I should have done this. So that's primarily my motivation. How the group came about. Okay, around 2018, around 2017, 2018, when I resigned from the company, I started, that's another story entirely. So let me just give a bit of the background. I started a company in 2014. That's the company that did apps for student friend for JAM. In 2017, I had to leave. So between 2017 and 2018, I was doing some stuff, and I just got to that position where I knew that, okay, I needed to build a community for young people, and that was how the community started. Then from the experience I gained, I knew that students are more interested in passing exams. When push comes to shove, the proof of brilliance in Nigeria is your ability to pass exams. So I made sure the name was it was something students can relate with. So then the name of the group was JAM Tutorials. So I want to believe it was one of the things that helped the group grow. Then around that time, there were a lot of groups that were not doing well. They were filled with a lot of spam comments. They were filled with a lot of things that will make Facebook not support your group to grow. So I made sure I did that well. In a nutshell, I made sure the group was well moderated, and I made sure the name was relevant, and that's how we grew from there.
And you grew from there. Oh wow! So what's been the success story from that till date?
Okay. Well, I would say we receive. From the post that we get a lot of members. They share with us the good news when they pass their exam, and some of them go on to say how helpful the group has been. That's the first one. The second one I would say is this. There's this thing I've seen in community building. So somebody joins a community and is ignorant about something. He asks for direction on the community. Somebody tells him. Somebody who has the information tells him. Then somebody new now joins the community and asks that same question, and this person who recently got the information now passes it on. So I've seen that countless times. So there's this cycle of passing of information. That's one of our success stories. Another thing I've seen too is that sometimes the difference between a student staying at home for the next 1 year or 2 years is information. We usually have this problem of maybe a student maybe being ripe enough to get admission in one school, but because he or she does not have that information, he or she is just staying at home. We have the problem of a student maybe filling the wrong JAM subject combination. We have problems of a student not even knowing what to read. Do you understand? So in a nutshell, we've had a lot of success stories on the tutorial side. That's the students knowing exactly what to read, and on the news side, or updates or information from JAM and the universities they are applying to.
Okay, so that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So basically today we are talking about technology, and I'm sure some people are wondering why we're talking about young people. We are talking about the future. We're talking about technology. The young people are the future. So who better to talk about the future of technology in Nigeria other than somebody that is already working with young people that are going to be the future of Nigeria. So stay with us, and we are going to get to the juicy part. We are laying the grounds for our discussion this evening, and we are laying the grounds for the information that we're going to be disseminating this evening. So basically, my next question is, where are we when it comes to technology in Nigeria? Where exactly are we?
Okay, in terms of size of the contribution to the GDP of the economy, of course, we are not there. We are not there. Of course, you have sectors like the oil and gas, you have sectors like manufacturing, you have sectors like agric. Yeah, so we are not there, and I think we can do better. In terms now, okay, of course, in terms, yeah. So, but another way you can look at it is this: tech has what we call verticals. Do you understand? So there's no information to know how tech supports some of these sectors that are doing well. You you understand? Let me give an example. So for instance, in the oil and gas industry, I know they use a whole lot of tech. While I was in oil and gas, I know that we use, of course, a lot of tech tools now to do designs. We use a lot of tech tools to do remote control and instrumentation. So there's the tech part that contributes to the industries, but tech as a whole, I know, while I don't have that information, I know we are not there. That's in terms of contribution to the GDP of the economy. In terms of job creation, we are not there yet too. We are not there. We are lagging far behind. Then in terms of using tech to solve problems, in sector by sector, fintech, we are trying. Fintech, of course, we are trying. A lot of people now know how to use their mobile apps. A lot of people know how to use USSD for transactions. A lot of people know how to get money using the ATM or the POS. So I think in terms of the most advanced sectors that use tech, fintech has done well, and I know we could do better. I will also say education. Education has harnessed tech well. I know we were okay. Years ago, my JAMB form was paper based. My JAMB was paper based, and I know my post-UTME was paper based. Now it's all tech. It's all tech amenable. Like from when you buy your JAMB form till you do post UTME till you even see whether you've been admitted or not. Like then they will paste the admission list and things like that. Now from the time you buy your JAMB form till when the school gives you admission, it's all techified. So in education, we are doing well at the university level. We are doing well at the university level, but in other sectors like the primary school, secondary school level, and primary school, I think it's only the highbrow schools that are really adopting tech. So that's for education. In health, maybe health insurance, yes, but health record management, I don't have that information. But what I know is that there's no harnessing of information. So for instance, maybe one's health record is just with one hospital and it's in a file. So I'm not sure we are doing very well for health. I know there was this attempt by NAFDAC to be able to verify drugs. That has done well. So sector by sector, it's and they have tried. Still coming back to the fintech and government. Our government has been able to drive the adoption on tech in a lot of industries. CAC, for instance, years ago when I started dealing with the CAC, it was a manual process. When you wanted to search for a company, it would take you 5 days. Now it takes you 6 hours. All tech. When you want to incorporate a company, it takes you 3-4 weeks. Now in 2 days you have incorporated your company. You will now have to wait maybe like 1 to 2 weeks to get your certificates. Now you get everything in 2-3 days. So there are some governments, parastatals, and agencies that adopted tech well. I'm giving the example of CAC. We have FIRS is fully tech. We have MFRSC, I know, in the managing of license. So I think we are getting there, and it could be better. That's in a nutshell. But in terms of adoption, yes. In terms of job creation, we can do better. In terms of contribution to the economy, we can do better.
Okay. So we can do better. We can do better. How do we do better? How do we pivot to the next level? Like, how do we catch up with the rest of the world? Because as it is, we are far, far behind in a lot of things. And I think
Yeah.
technology is one of the things that can actually accelerate the Nigerian journey, the Nigerian development. I was reading an article the other day, and Nigeria was not even rated as part of the developed African country. So that's really bad for the kind of brains that we have in this country, for the kind of brilliance and awesome minds that we have in the country, for us not to be on that list. So something is missing. There is a gap. So how do we pivot to the next level? What can we do? We have people that are watching this live. They are all in different sectors. I have somebody that is into selling of hair. I have somebody that is into multi-level marketing. I have someone that is into banking. I have people that are into clothing. I have people from all walks of life. So, like, if the government is not doing it, because I'm not sure the government can even do a lot for us. We are the ones that will have to actually bring in those advancements into this country and use it to build our business and scale to the next level. So how do we, get there? We are not there yet, but what are the steps that we can take to get there?
Okay. First of all, I would say basic social infrastructure, and by that education. Education. Even till today, somebody who I spoke with, what I told him was that the la cram la poor approach to our educational system is really bad. It's more of a garbage in, garbage out system. That has to change. Even from primary school, our children should be taught to understand things. Our children should be taught to learn and apply so they can understand. Because when push comes to shove, tech just simplifies life. Real life processes. So if you really don't understand how things work in general, it's not going to help. Then I think from primary 4, one of the things I've seen is that from primary 3 to primary 4, a lot of children miss it in mass. I must be very sincere and with you, to be good in tech, to be a good creator of tech, you must understand numbers. You must have that quantitative aptitude. So we need to make children love maths.
Foundation.
We need to make children love numbers. We need to make children play with numbers. So there must be that shift in the way we teach. There must be that approach. So like I said, not just investment in education, investment in the right type of education. That's one. Making sure children are made to understand things. Then making sure there's special attention so that they can love maths more. That's 1. 2. Then tech itself should be in the educational process. Like they should use tech. Do you understand? So for example, they should say maybe every student should start using a tab or phone. Do you understand? So let me just give an example I usually share with people I discuss this issue about. Like in teaching a student, you ask the parent to buy a textbook. That's when you give the parent the list of books. Now, the teacher also has the textbook. The teacher writes from the textbook to his or her lesson notes. The teacher now writes from the lesson notes to the board. You now ask the student to write from the board to his or her notes. But the student already has the textbook. So the garbage in, garbage out is just too much. That's 4 steps of garbage in and garbage out. Why does the teacher not? Why don't we have a system where we create learning aids? So out of the whole bulk of textbooks or content, why don't you structure it in such a way that you can pick up 2-3 things that students can learn and apply, maybe throughout the whole term, and build a project and with it. Then the students would then, maybe in the student's spare time, he or she can finish the material himself. So in a nutshell, we need to change the way we teach. We need to invest more in education, change the way we teach, and make the students use tech tools, make the students use learning aids that make them learn and apply. That's one. Then two, we need also some form of physical infrastructure, power. Yeah, so we need to, we need to invest in power. Do you understand? As we are doing this interview, there was lights, but I had to tell them to put off the light and put on the gen, because of course this is Nigeria and a lot of anything can happen. Yeah. So we need to invest in power. Do you understand? Software developers need power. For those who are into some form of hardware and robotics, they need power to test things. So we need power. So I believe once you can get those two things, social education and power, a lot of things will fix itself. But if I must mention a third, then we need a policy. We need the government to say that, okay, come, there must be this tech future. We want to do things using tech. So far there looks like that kind of policy, but that should be in place.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically we've gotten it wrong from the foundation.
Yes.
Foundation is so, and the Bible says if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? You can't really do anything. You can't build something on a faulty foundation. So for all those of us that are here, that are watching this, we are bringing children into the world, and we have younger ones. We have young people sitting at home right now, not going to university because schools are on strike. So how are we plugging them into the future? How are we exposing them to the right technology? If you get me, because at the end of the day, like he said, garbage in, garbage out. Is whatever that you are putting into them that they would eventually, put out. So there is no output without input. So we need to start doing the right things so that we can have a future in technology. Because there's nothing stopping Nigeria from actually being on the forefront. We have lots of brilliant people in this country, but we are not harnessing our minds in the right direction. We are not doing the right things at all. So education is key, power is key, and of course policies need to be in place for Nigeria to move to the next level, for Nigeria to be able to pivot to the next level in technology. Thank you, Enoch, for that. So my next question is, people are coming to the realization of using tech to build their businesses, but a lot of big companies, we can say they are using them because they have the resources. But how can small businesses use tech to their own advantage? I know a lot of them are on social media. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Some have to excuse me, some have to dance on TikTok, jump on Instagram. All of these are incorporated into technology. But what else can small businesses do?
Okay.
Technology to build their businesses.
Okay. Thanks so much, Bimbo. So the first thing I will say is this: small businesses need to ask themselves that question. Do you want to be a tech first business, or a business that uses tech? Do you want to be a first tech business? So you are a tech first business, or a business that just sees tech as something you would use? That's a very important question. Of course, when banks got to the decision that they had to digitalize, it took a whole lot of resources, but I believe they asked themselves this question that we have to become a tech first business. So once businesses can ask themselves that question and answer that, it becomes easy for them. So everything they want to do for every of their departments, the first question they will ask is, how has tech solved this? How can we use tech to make this thing very simple? That's the first question. Then the second question I would say is, well, okay, I don't want to use the word business now. Let me now use the word CEO, or the founder of the business. When push comes to shove, the CEO drives it. How knowledgeable and how open is the CEO to learn the use of these tech tools? Yeah, so that's this the second question, because the truth is there are a lot of tech tools available, and if one is not very careful, one would be confused. So the CEO or the founder of the business or the leaders of the business should have good tech decision and making skills. Let me quickly give you an example. Facebook is a social media platform. Instagram is a social media platform. Twitter is a social media platform. LinkedIn is a social media platform. But when push comes to shove, if you look at them, if you look at them well, you will see that they are suited for different social media applications. Do you understand? Or let me put it this way: the content you post on Instagram is not the content you post on Facebook. Do you understand? A Facebook, an Instagram post now should have a picture, but if you post links, it will have links. So Instagram is a picture first platform. So some businesses will not be suited for it, while some other businesses will be suited for it. Twitter supports short content and can go viral. When you log into Twitter, Twitter wants you to follow topics and trends, not unnecessarily people. Do you understand? But not so with Facebook. When you log into Facebook, you see people that you follow. Do you understand? So in a nutshell, the CEOs of the business should really understand how these tech tools work, so that you will not be using the wrong
Shooting the wrong
platform for
shot.
your problem, and after a while you get frustrated and say tech does not work, and you go back to what you are doing. Let me now put it this way: every tech process, every tech tool is a representation of an already existing physical phenomenon. Do you understand? Just like maybe people love to see pictures. Maybe when I come to your house, I want to see an album. Do you understand? Or maybe let me give an example of some kind of magazines, like a picture first magazine, and that's now the Instagram. So if I'm not a picture first business, maybe I'm not. I don't do hair. I don't make furniture. I'm not into real estate. If my products are not pictorial, or if I cannot bring a picture part, do you understand? Yeah.
Like making services.
Yeah. So business founders should first understand the physical part of the business before they choose their tech platform. Another way I'll put it is this: okay, let's now move to marketing. Do you understand? You should understand marketing in the first place. Do you understand? Let me just give an example. I want to market to you, and I say, and maybe from the word go, and you have lost me. I can't even have a conversation with you in real life. I'm not a good marketer in real life. In tech, there's what is known as copywriting. That's writing to sell. So if I can't have a conversation with you in real life, that means I really don't even have the skills to market in real life. How will I now write a copy? That's how will I now write a text to sell a product, like the text that goes with the email that I used to run an ad. Do you understand? So small business owner should have the physical skills already, and tech just skills it. I think those three, I would say, are very important. One, they should take decision on whether there will be a tech first business or a business that does exist tech.
Which one is more important? Sorry, on that.
Well, I will advise every business owner to be a tech first business. A tech first business. Yes.
Sorry, let me hold you on that. Oh, sorry, pause on that thought, because I wanted you to emphasize on that, because I've come across an article whereby it's a no-brainer. Look at Facebook. Facebook is first a tech company before it became an advertising company. So if you can just understand the idea of you building your tech muscles, you can do anything. See the kind of crazy money that Mark Zuckerberg is making just because he was able to be a tech first company, and then he monetized it afterwards. So I think that's, if they don't go away with anything today, I think that's one of the key things that you can go away with. Be a tech first company before you even think of other things. It's not like you're a tailor today, and then you're not saying you're a tailor, but tech, like you said, understand what tech is, And then by the time you understand what the tech is, then you can be able to now what's it called, recreate it into your business, and then become, so techified, if there's any word like that, that you can do a lot of things. You can move a lot of mountains for your business. So please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Bimbo. So in a nutshell, be it like I said, take a decision whether you want to be a tech first and business, or a business that uses tech. Secondly, make sure you understand the tech tools that make sure you understand what each tech platform does. That's two. Then the third one would be, make sure you understand the physical process already before you use tech to scale it. Do you understand? Make sure you really understand the physical process that will be scaled using that tech and platform or tool. Yes.
Amazing. So we've been able to talk about how small businesses can use tech to scale their businesses. Bottom line, be techified.
Yeah, that's
Tech
good.
first. Be a tech company first before you are a clothing line. Be a tech company first before you are a hairdresser or a nail technician or whatever you are doing. The future is tech.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just say this for the tech guys who are watching me. Yeah, so I'm not saying as a clothes company now. I'm not saying as a clothes company you go and start looking for developers to come and do a clothing app for you. No, what I'm just saying is look for maybe one of the major processes in your business, sales for instance. Now, as the owner of the business, leave production for somebody else. Start running your Instagram page. Take sales serious. So when you wake up every morning, tell yourself, I'm going to post 20 pictures. I'm going to post 20 pictures. Okay, and tell yourself, I'm going to become a fashion influencer. Do you understand? So in the front, you're a fashion influencer, but in the back, you are a tailor. So people are calling you a fashion influencer, but you are a tailor. Do you understand? Let's say maybe you run, you sell let's say weight loss products. Do you understand? Okay. So you can say, okay, I'm going to start, let's say, like a blog, or I'll start a blog advising people on what to eat and what not to eat. So you are a tech first marketing person. So your entire marketing operations, which of course where money comes from, is tech first. So you wake up in the morning and start going on the road to go and start selling your weight loss products. When you wake up in the morning, you check your YouTube channel for the views. Do you understand? So that's what I mean by tech first. So if at the stage where you are, you can't bring in guys to code an app. Do you understand? What critical parts of your operation can you move to using tech? Do you understand? Even the marketing now, can you say, okay, no, nobody gives us cash. All money is coming with transfer. Do you understand? Everybody must get a receipt. So things like that. You are a tech enabled business or a tech first company, so you necessarily don't need to build an app. Yes, I'm just to put that in perspective.
All right, thank you very much. So on to the next one. I know a lot of people are wondering, okay, me, I'm not into business. I'm an employee somewhere, or I'm a student, I'm a this, I'm a that. So how can we position ourselves for the financial value in tech? Can anybody here become the next Mark Zuckerberg? Is it possible? And is there opportunity to actually create the next Bill Gates?
Well,
because because a lot of people know these names, but how did they become? And is it possible for anybody here to say, oh, in the nearest future, I say, oh, I attended a live lessons with Queen Billion live event, and I got the inspiration, and today I am on the same pedestal with Zuckerberg, I'm on the same pedestal with Bill Gates. It is possible, but with the right information. So is it possible, and how can we do that?
Okay, so let me just talk to a category of people. Let me first start with employees. So if you're an employee and you are listening to me, please take tech serious. I beg you, please take tech serious. The way tech is, it has two sides. The capacity to empower, and while it's empowering people, it also has the capacity to put people out of job. Let me give you an example. Some months ago, I needed to do a project that involved recording a voiceover. I mean, years ago, I would have maybe gone to look for some voiceover professionals to help me go into the studio and record the voice. But there's a tech tool that makes you put in your texts and it does the voiceover for you, Nigerian voice.
Wow.
Nigerian voice. Do you understand? And it works. Do you understand? So tech is coming for everybody, for even me. Do you understand? Jam now is fully computer based. Years ago, when Jam is about to be done, they will send the papers from maybe Abuja to the state collation center headquarters. They will now send it to the different schools when the exam is done and all that. Now it's all tech. What happened to the guys who handle the printing? Your guess is as good as mine. Do you understand? So tech is coming for everybody. So the earlier you stay on the safe side, the better. The earlier you stay on the safe side, the better. So as an employee, please learn the tech side of your profession. Do you understand? Learn how to use tech tools. You are an accountant, learn how to use 3, 4, 5 tech tools. You are a lawyer, learn how to use 3, 4, 5 legal tech tools. Learn how to use Google. Learn how to use productivity tools like Microsoft Word. I've mentioned Google. Learn how to use those tools. And when I say learn, take courses in them. It gives you an edge. You don't realize that you are at work and your colleagues are coming to help you. Your colleagues are coming to help you. It gets so good that your boss will now be telling some colleagues, take it to this person for him to help you do this. That's how these things work. That's one. I'm still on employees. The second one is that if in tech, there's what they call product managers. So a lot of people who maybe have
Network
can go into tech, called product managers. Now, tech has what we call verticals. So you have ed tech, you have fintech, you have health tech. So a software developer now would just know the software part of it. But in an ed tech, you need a teacher to tell him, okay, this is how the education industry works. This is how a parent behaves. Maybe a parent, okay, maybe we are coding a school fees payment platform. Don't code the platform to take a payment once. Parents pay in batches. Did you understand? So an experienced teacher or an experienced school administrator can transition to become a product manager. Do you understand? So he's the one that is responsible for the building of apps. So that's the second thing employees can use tech for. That's the second thing employees can use tech for. For parents, you can use tech for a whole lot of stuff. One, we now have apps that can monitor your children not going into some kind of sites on the internet they should not go to. Then if your children go to schools that appreciate tech, you can monitor their performance. So you don't need to wait maybe till the end of term to know that your child has not been doing well in maths. In real time, maybe after their first test or second test, you can know that your child is not good in maybe maths and know that, okay, it's in trigonometry exactly that the child is not good in. That is the second thing parents can use tech for. I mean, the third thing, of course, we have CCTVs. We can install CCTVs in their house. Till yesterday, I heard about a startup that makes parents monitor the cry of their unborn babies to know if the unborn babies have deformities. So it gets that good. Yes, it gets that good. So let me answer your question about being the next Bill Gates at Zuckerberg. I hope parents are listening to me. As a parent, you can catch your children young. And let me tell you the secret. Once you see your children are very inquisitive, and once you see they love puzzles, they love play with objects, they love numbers, please, that's the time to start pushing them into techie stuff from the age of 7. Do you understand? Of course, we are talking about Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg today. And Bill Gates, when he was small, while his children went out to play, Bill Gates would go into the computer lab to be playing with computers. Do you understand? His parents introduced him very early. His parents sent him to schools that invested in it. So coming back to parents, support your children. Notice where their interest lies. So if they love playing with stuff, if they love gadgets, make them have access to it, but control it. If they love spending time on the computer, don't just tell them to stop. Know what they are doing. Please, parents, we've left the narrative of your child must be a doctor or lawyer or engineer or banker. Yes, the professional barriers are breaking. Do you understand? Please, there are a lot of options now. So please, parents should support their young children. Then so that's just that. I mean, and of course, I can't say this how the next maybe Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg will come, but what I just know is that with the right support for them to grow, then allow them go for events, allow them go for new programs. Of course, I know you are parents and you are concerned. If you have to follow them, follow them. If you have to follow them, follow them. Like, I know I've seen guys who started when they were 12 and 13. Their parents supported them, and now they have done well. Yesterday, something happened that, well, I said, okay, there's this guy that I'm very friendly with on Facebook. And this guy looks like the next big thing. I invited him for an event, and I had to speak with his dad, but for some reason he could not come. I was like, fine, do you understand? And I was like, yeah. So, but we are going as parents, please support your children to go for this kind of tech events. If you have to go with them, go with them. I don't know if I should answer the question for employers or for potential investors.
Please do.
Okay, so tech is not like the brick and mortar business. So if you want to invest in a tech company, tech is not like the brick and mortar business. So you need to be very careful. So the first thing I will advise is okay. So there are two scenarios. What kind of investor are you? Are you investing for the long term or for the short term? So if you are investing for the short term, I will advise you to invest in a brick and mortar business that uses tech, or a tech first company. So for example, you can invest in let's say maybe an e-commerce company that has a physical store and has an online store. Do you understand? So if you want your returns to be fast, but if you are building for maybe the next 10 or 20 years, or you are a high risk investor, you can invest in more riskier ventures, like maybe you want to build the next Facebook, or you want to build the next Jumia, something that is just tech only. That's one. Then two, as an investor, you should ask yourself whether you really understand investment. The word investor has been thrown about now. Everybody can call himself an investor, but if you really don't understand how investment works, you are going to miss it. You should really understand how investment works. Yeah, that's very important. Sorry.
Yeah. Welcome to Nigeria. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. The third one is so still on the still as an investor, then hopefully you understand how investment works. So you need to appraise the investment and proposal and know the timelines when the business will grow, if they will need follow-on funding, how the business growth is going to be affecting their returns on investments. Yeah. Then lastly, you need to be able to trust the person. When push comes to shove, as an investor, you need to have that. Is at the early stage of investment, you have a relationship with the guys that are running the business. So you need to trust the person. You need to be friendly with the person. So in a nutshell, for investors, honestly, there is no hard and fast rule, but it's just a template of things from your end and from the investor's end. And once again, know whether you are in it for the short term or for the long term. If you are in it for the short term, choose a brick and mortar business that uses tech. If you are in it for the long term, you can do riskier ventures. Understand investments and know the numbers of the company. Then have a good relationship with the founder and be friends with the founder. Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. So what you are telling us now is that we that are not young people, we can't become Zuckerberg or Bill Gates.
Well,
We are busting our bubble.
no, there's, like I said, there's no hard and fast rule. Let me put it in this dimension. There's always a backstory to tech. There's always a backstory to tech. So in bringing the backstory together, there's what we call the three C's, the four C's. So you have the competence parts. These guys were good. These guys were good on their own. Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg were good. Then you have the contact parts. They knew the right people. They knew the right people. Then you have the community parts. Do you understand? Or you have the community part means that they were living in a place that had that problem and were willing to use it. They were living in a place that had that problem and they were willing to use it. So they had that problem at that time and were willing to use it. So there are some factors that are extraneous to you that will need to come to the fore. So at 30, you could go into tech and make it before you are 40. At 40, you could go and make it before you are 50. At 17, and you could start and still not make it. So there are factors that influence success outside maybe you being good. Let me give. I know. If you read the backstories of some of these guys that we all know, they all came from rich families. They all came from rich families. So nobody. I don't know if you. There's what is called the black tax, where somebody, maybe the firstborn or the secondborn, has to be supporting the family. I'm not sure they experienced that. I was reading the story of a Nigerian founder, and it was like, and that's what his history, and it was like he was telling himself that if he feels if he was about to do some venture, and it was like if he failed those companies, he would just go and stay in his parents' house. Of course, he was in the UK. You can't stay in his parents' house. Do you understand? So what it means is that food was not his problem. Where to sleep was not his problem. Do you understand? So the family. Okay. So there's a community you need to belong to that will support that. So the first one is the family. The first one is where you live. So if you live in an enlightened place that really need that problem, you are fine. Do you understand? Let me give an example of maybe an app like booking.com. With booking.com, you can book a flight. You can book an accommodation in any part of the world. Then some of the accommodations come with the ability to book a driver that will go and pick you from the airport, and you can even put in. Sorry, hold on, please. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. It's freezing. Network. So if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. I'll pick them up as soon as we're done, so that we can take questions.
Please,
we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Yes. So in the app like booking.com, you put in your flights and details. The driver that is coming to pick you will know whether your flight is delayed or not. You'll be there waiting for you at the airport to show, for you to know what you're doing. Do you understand? So you need to be in a community that supports that kind of ecosystem. If not, you just build an app and nobody is using it. Do you understand? You need to stay in a community that has investors that want to invest in it. Like some of the monies these guys raise and burn in 3 months, some companies in this place have not made it in 10 years. That's what these guys will burn in 3 months. Yeah, so these are the factors that consider. Let me just end with this. Most of these startups you see that are doing well in Nigeria, of course, I want to mention names. In quotes, most of their headquarters is based in countries like the US and Canada and the rest, most of these investors that put these huge funds in operate by those laws. Do you understand? Why they use here as the markets. So that's how it works. You need to be inclined with investors that can afford to invest sums like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and of course, as you grow, if the factors that favored Mark Zuckerberg and the rest come out to play for us, fine. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, in a nutshell, you can become the next Mark Zuckerberg at whatever age. Because like you said, you can start at 17 and still no hammer. You can start at 30 and still make it. You can start at 40 and still make it. But the bottom line is, if you are currently an employee somewhere, whatever what's it called now, role that you are playing, find the tech side of it and position yourself correctly. And you can actually become the product owner, and then you can, build a tech career from there. And then you have kids, you have young ones around you, plug them into the system so that they can actually have a better chance than we were offered when we were growing up. And if you are a company and you have already made some money, find tech companies either for the long term or for the short term, and be able to know which one you want to do. If you have risky appetite or you don't, but find a tech company, a viable one that you can invest in and watch it grow. So that's the bottom line. So you can become anything that you want to become in this life, but you just have to have the right information, and the right factors have to work in your favor, just like he has rightly said. The likes of Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, they had some sort of cushion. They had the right environment. It's just like you're asking a fish to climb tree. It won't. It cannot. That's not its thriving environment. But if it's in water, in the right kind of water also, it will definitely swim and it will be the best. So you need to be in the right kind of environment. All the factors need to work in your favor, and you yourself, you need to position yourself. And that way you can actually chart the course to wherever that you want to head to in this life. Thank you so much, Enoch, so far.
Yeah, thank you.
Very informative and transformative and interesting. So people, if you have questions, please drop them on the chat box and we'll pick it up from there. So towards my final questions, I think you sort of answered it, but let me just ask it. So many young people are using tech, but not productively to build wealth. That's the key factor that I want you to. They are using tech, but they are not being productive with it. They are not building anything tangible with it. So how do we plug the next generation to be more tech useful and not social media addicted? Because like we have been saying in this conversation, social media is here to stay and a lot of people are using it. But how are they using it? But my concern is at the future of Nigeria, the young people. A lot of them just go online, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then they're just there. They've not even figured out where the money is in this thing. So how do we help them to stop being just addicted and just watching? How do we stop them from just being consumers and then they become creators? How do we stop them from just consuming and then start earning from this thing that they are spending? Because a lot of them will call you, Auntie, I don't have data on my phone, buy me data. What are you using the data for? You understand? So if I buy you data today, how much are you going to use that data to make? So how do we reorientate them, and how do we stop this social? Even adults are also guilty of the same thing, addiction. So even as an employee, how can you plug yourself into this social media thinking? And actually, you mentioned something about being an influencer. How do you become an influencer? How do you do it so that you are not just wasting time? Like now, we are having a live session and we are giving value to people. So I know this is one of the ways in which you can use social media to be able to, create value. But how do we help everybody to be able to stop being addicted and stop wasting time on social media and create wealth out of it?
Okay, so thanks so much for that question, Bimbo. So I will answer it in three categories. So the first one is to the government. I think we need to have that policy that cuts across all sectors where we take production seriously. You understand? I know you mentioned consumption. So Nigeria needs to take production seriously. So not just tech, manufacturing,
Everything.
yeah. So we need to take production seriously. So we need to take production seriously. That's one, very important. Like, so once we take production seriously, is going to affect tech. That's one. Then two, for let's say business owners and young people. So the challenge with young people is that they really don't see what they can do with tech. They really don't see what they can do with tech, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But what I mean, okay, let me put it this way. You know, I once said it that before anything you do in tech has already a physical process. So there's something that needs to come before tech, and that is maybe physical training, maybe they having a physical skills, maybe they being very well educated. Without that, they will not see themselves as consumers of tech. And do you understand? So for a child in GS3, what would he come and post on tech? Do you understand? Yeah, but if maybe he belongs to a social studies club and they've taught them a lot about history, he can come and start using tech to post things on history. Maybe he belongs to a maths club or jets club. He can come to tech to start and posting things on maths, on English, on physics. So they must first see themselves as people of value, and they must now bring that value to tech. So that's for young people. That's one. Then two, even in gaining the value, they should also be taught that they can use tech to gain value. That social media is not the only tool. Do you understand? Like it's like they don't need to pick up their phones and go to social media. They really don't need to always be entertained. They can go to YouTube and watch documentaries. They can go to, there are some educational channels I follow on YouTube, and they teach you maths in a storified way. There are some channels too I follow on YouTube, and you get condensed world news, like what is happening in the world in a storified way. You see documentaries, you see history, so they can use tech to even get the value they will come back to post on social media. They should not see social media as the only tech tools. Parents that are listening to this too, when your child carries it into our phone, make sure he's watching videos on YouTube that can educate him. For every profession you choose, there's somebody doing the YouTube of it. Be it a tailor, be it a marketer, be it a lawyer, be it a video creator, be it a social media influencer. There's somebody that is already giving the educational part on it. So you can use steps to gain that value and come and share it with the next generation of people. So before you even talk of being an influencer, what do you want to influence? You must have the knowledge and the experience in the thing you want to influence. That is, sorry.
Thank you. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
So
Would you want to drink water? Would you
yes,
want to take a drink of water, please?
yes.
Okay. So I think that's pretty summarizes it. So in a nutshell, don't so for young people, don't try your best not to be addicted to social media, and to do that, replace the addiction with something. You must always pick your phone, right? You must always pick your phone. Why go to Facebook, you understand, to play when you can join, you can watch, you can follow educational pages on Facebook, you can follow educational pages on YouTube, on Instagram. So be addicted to education. I
Learning.
know you want to laugh and you want to catch cruise. Some of these stuffs, there's some kind of cruise too you can catch, or balance it. Watch maybe 3 educational videos, watch 2 or 3 cruise videos, something of that sort.
Mm, mm. That's really beautiful. So you can use one stone to kill two birds, meaning like
Yeah.
what you have said, the same social media you're addicted to, you can learn from it and then use it to create something that we will use to earn from it.
Very good. Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
should I
yes,
repeat
yes.
it?
And I saw the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you get?
yeah,
So the same social media, you can use one stone to kill two birds. You
yeah,
can learn from it and then use it to create something which we use to earn from it. So
yeah,
why not? Like end to end. At the
yeah,
end of the day, you have money. At the end of the day, you are not dependent on people. You are not a liability. So for those of you that are probably on strike, or a student that is on strike right now, there will be a replay of this video on my YouTube channel, Life Lessons with Queen William. So please share with all of them, because these are gems. These are things that these young ones don't even understand. And the earlier they understand it, the better. Because no matter how bad the situation is, it depends on how you look at it. It's either the cup is half full or it's half empty. It's either half full or half empty. So right now you're at home, you are doing nothing, you are waiting for us to call off strike. What are you doing with the time? What are you learning? What are you earning? Who are you becoming in the process of your waiting? So it's either you become bitter or you become better. It's your choice. And we're in an age whereby even the course that you are waiting to graduate from, you can
yeah,
learn everything while you are even at home. So that by the
yeah,
time you are even back in school, you've already learned everything. So it's just going to be a refresher for you. There are a million and one ways you can do things. But it depends on the information that you're exposed to, and it depends on what you do with that information, and it depends on the route that you decide to go with it. So
yeah.
this has been Life Lessons with Queen Billion, and I hope you have gained one or two things. I'm not sure if there are questions. I think we probably covered all of the questions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the good feedback and all of that, people. And so we can't close this session without asking Mr. Enoch what has been his greatest life lesson in life. So what's your greatest life lesson?
Okay, so thanks so much, Ambi. But so very quickly, let me just say this before I answer that question. So for everybody who has been watching this, especially if you are in Nigeria, please take tech serious. Tech can open doors for you. Please, for those who like to code, you can learn coding. But coding is not the only thing you can do in tech. There's product management, there's UI UX, there's digital marketing, there's technical writing. There are a lot of things you can do in tech. Please take tech serious. Just like you said, the times have changed. You don't need to wait till you are done with school before you can get a job. So you can get a job now. You don't also, yeah, just take tech serious. It has been a life. I mean, it can open a whole lot of doors. My greatest life lesson will be that tech has opened a whole lot of doors for me.
Hmm. So you and Tech, you are 5 and 6. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying. Please join us back. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope you've learned one or two things from the questions that we've been able to ask, and you've been able to gain insight as to the future of tech in Nigeria. The young ones are the future of Nigeria, and Nigeria right now is still nowhere um, when we are talking about tech. For us to get there, We have discussed all the things that we need to do to get there. Yes, it starts with the government, but much more importantly, it starts with you. It begins with the decisions that you decide to make today. It begins with the decisions you decide to make on your children, on the kind of schools that they go to, on the kind of information, the kind of things that you allow them to watch. And as for you, that you're running a business, are you going to be a tech business first before you are a clothing business? So there are a lot of dimensions to it, but you can always have a rewatch of this session on my YouTube channel, Life Lessons with Queen Billion, and you can take your notes and still drop your questions there if you have any question. Enoch would always be available to answer the question. So don't forget to follow this page because I'm going to be hitting you back to back to back with future series. So this has been the future series with Queen Billion. Thank you for tuning in and do have a fantastic new August. Yes, happy new month in advance. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time, it's Queen Billion and I'm signing out.